Hey all, so this is the Valiance in the Vast event. This is a Water Slayer event and Beast Killer. Now I did get rather lucky with my vault pulls. I managed to get a copy of this card on tier 1 and on tier 2 of the vault. Now that rarely happens. This card is kind of strange. This card creates Water Power Gem 4s, however, they are doubled if you don't do any damage the turn before. So it is kind of a strange card. You need to try and avoid matching anything the turn before in order to get the most out of this card. So this card is the support card. This is actually a pretty good support card compared to some of them. This spawns power gems and heals. So I have decided to leave that on my team. Here we have an older ultimate form. This one has the bonus attack buff and spawns 7 different power gems. So it's quite a nice card for filling up the grid. Another copy of this card here, we've already seen that. And finally another older ultimate form. This one just spawns 4 power gems. However, I can fill up the grid using these cards, which is quite useful, and then the 3 event cards do all the damage. So there we go. That's the general team I am using for this event. If we go into the bosses section, the first thing to note, Mercenaries are back this event. However, it's slightly different to what you might expect. So the way this works, with the Mercenary bosses, they sometimes appear. However, if you get MVP and all the damage bonuses on the Mercenary, you only have around a 33% chance to get it. So most of the time, even if you get MVP on the Mercenary, you are unfortunately not going to get it. So the way around this is there are bribes in the event store. If you use a bribe, you are 100% guaranteed to get the Mercenary, even if you only tag it. I'm going to purchase one. I have purchased 2 from the store. As you may have seen, unfortunately they go up in price after the first 2. They are also available from the collection, however, there's only 3 available here. If we scroll down, there's one of the bribes there at 400 million. Another one at 1 billion, and then the final one is at 2.4 billion. So you want to pick and choose which mercenaries you use the bribes on. Be careful not to waste them on not very useful mercenaries. One of the ones I had earlier is an older 3-star card that sells for 20 dust. Just be careful you don't waste a bribe on one of those. I'm just tagging this solo boss as it was rallied. That one's not so good. Let's start actually playing the event. Let's start killing stuff. Now you really need to go to Prestige 5 this event. This is the only way you can encounter the full selection of mercenary bosses, unfortunately. You can't do it on the earlier Prestiges. So let's find something to kill. Let's get rid of these solos. You never know, a mercenary might appear if I'm really lucky. No, right. So I think let's just kill a few guild bosses until a decent solo appears. Most guild bosses can be killed with one key at this stage, with the exception of Radiance and Big Eternals. So if you have a look at these two cards, you can see the arrow up on them. That represents they will do 4 power gems instead of 2. So you want to wait for that before using the card. With the other cards, that did more than enough damage to defeat the boss, as you saw. I'll just work top down on the guild bosses until something decent actually spawns. You never know, I might get lucky and see a mercenary boss. If it's a weaker one though, I will probably just lock it and then try and the 1 in 3 shot getting MVP on it. If it's a really good one, then I will probably use a bribe. 100 gems for an older Master Collection card or Ultra card is actually pretty decent in all fairness. Right, let's claim up some of these guild bosses. Again, there's not much of interest here. I'm not going to try and kill a Karelian boss. I don't really have enough keys for that yet. I might be able to steal this one, you never know. That's more my level of Radiant. Right, here we go. Let's see if I've done enough for MVP. Well, it will be close. I've done very close to 50% on that. No. Just under 50%, unfortunately. So I did not manage to steal MVP on that. Jerking about all over the place. Ah, that's perfect. All right, I can lock this one. And give my team a proper testing. Okay. Right, lock the boss, and then here we go. Let's try my team properly on this. Hopefully it should be able to defeat this boss without that many problems. It might take 2 attacks. We will see. Okay, I need to play quite fast on this. This has dodge. Dodge is countered, so that's always good. That's a nice attack, a full grid. So that's doing just over 3 trillion, I think. Not too bad. Yeah, that was quite a weak hit. This should do okay. I've got a full grid again. So as you can see, it's not really good enough for Corellian bosses. However, this can take out diamond bosses. Not much healing though, unfortunately. Only the support card is giving any healing. So if the battle takes too long, I may actually die. Hopefully that won't happen. Yeah, so this is going to take 2 attacks. Right, I need to get in one more attack nice and quick. Right, there we go. One more attack should kill that. Let's see if anything else has spawned. I might as well tag this. There is literally no point in me hitting the Corellian bosses even with 3 event cards. Simply will not be able to do enough damage to get anything on the boss. Alright, here we go. Let's finish off the diamond. Should not be too difficult. That should be a pretty decent hit. There we go. So one more decent attack after this will defeat the boss. There we go. So not too bad. It took 2 attacks. But I can defeat diamond bosses. Now what I'm going to do now is wait until a mercenary boss spawns. This is to show you how the bribes work. If it's a weaker mercenary though, I won't use the bribe. I'll just fight it normally. Let's see what spawns and how long it takes to spawn. Okay, so it's been quite a long time and, well, no mercenaries have actually spawned yet. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on here. I had quite a few early on in the event and now nothing seems to be spawning at all. It's very strange. I think they must be on a delay, like every 2 to 3 hours or something like that. Even though I had 2 spawning near to each other early on in the event, so yeah, I don't really understand this very well. But let's have a look at what you could find. There's quite a selection here. Let's talk through which ones are probably worth using the bribes on. So, the first 4 here, I would definitely say don't use a bribe. Weller, definitely don't. There's a couple here maybe to consider. When you get onto the platinum cards, or should I say platinum missions or diamond missions, these are the cards that are worth using the bribes on. The Carillion ones are both wardens by the looks of it. So yeah, anything platinum or better, possibly consider using a bribe on to guarantee it. The only exception here may be the wardens. Both of those wardens, if you already have them, are not much use if you get other copies of them. Unless you have the mothership and you want to awaken it 5 times or so. So that's entirely up to you. But bear in mind, if you don't use a bribe, your best chance is around 1 in 3 of actually getting the mercenary. Let's claim that and see if there's any chance something might appear. You never know. Been waiting long enough, and guess what? There's no mercenary. No, it's not happening. So there are a few other changes. Both of the leagues are considerably bigger this time around. If you have a look at the Overlords League, there are actually, I think I saw this right, 53 guilds. Look at all these iron guilds. So it's 44 or lower that are being demoted. Interesting that the guild that finished first last event is currently bottom of the Overlords League with only 3 members. Something weird happened last event with that guild. I'm not sure what they were doing. I think they were swapping out members or something very strange. But yeah, it's right at the bottom now. And now let's have a look at the actual event rewards, the Legends League seems bigger than usual as well. It's going to be quite difficult for me to drop out of this league. I don't want to stay in Legends. I want to go back into Emperors for Commander. I need to finish quite low down for that. Yeah, it's a long way down. There we go, 221 or lower. The easiest way for me to get demoted is to just tag everything rather than actually hit. Once I have the quest for 100 solo bosses done, I don't really need to bother with solo bosses anymore, with the exception of the mercenary bosses, of course, if they ever appear. So let's have a look at the rewards this time around. Let's go up nearer the top. I can have a proper look at the Warden or Dragoon when I'm nearer the top. Just loading at the moment. Let's go to about here. Well, that's pretty good. There's actually one from our guild at position 4. That's always nice to see. So it's a Dragoon this time around. Okay. Okay, so it creates power gems for 3 turns. That's not bad, actually. The only problem is I'm only going to get a 4-star version of this, so I probably won't be able to use it. However, that is still a pretty good Dragoon. Okay, let's back out of that. Nice stats on it as well. 24.7k health. If you have a good fire attack team, this could really help boost it up. And I think that about covers this event. Unless a mercenary mysteriously appears now, which is extremely unlikely. They don't seem to be appearing anymore, and no idea why. I think one other thing, let's have a look at what bosses are spawning cloak fragments. Yeah, it's only prestige and Carillion bosses again. So it's going to be very, very difficult to get cloak bosses up. We are still stacking them. We all have an unclaimed cloak boss, as you can see, but we don't have many cloak bosses stacked yet. In actual fact, we only have one more. Yeah, I'm sure MVP on this will give... Oh no. 10% damage gives 1 cloak fragment. Okay. So that's how you get the cloaks anyway. And I think that about covers this video. That covers this event. The elusive mercenary bosses which never seem to want to spawn anymore. The Legends League is still getting bigger as well. There's now 260 players in this league. So this event might get a bit ridiculous. I don't know. Oh, another diamond boss. I will actually defeat that one at some point. So hopefully that was interesting. Just remember, if a decent mercenary appears, I would go in with the bribe and then just tag the boss or do minimal damage, let someone else get MVP and get a chance at the boss. So if you do have any questions or suggestions regarding this, please let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to help with any questions as well. My team is not perfect. If I can improve on my team, I'm always interested to hear about that. and thanks for watching.